When it comes to codependency, narcissists can also be comorbid with codependency, meaning they can also have codependency issues. It's not just the sacrificial, giving, people pleaser partner that is the codependent. It can also be, and is usually also, the narcissistic partner. They're codependent on the caregiver because they're often also, especially in the love bombing stage and in the beginning, giving the caregiver what usually it's a she, wants to have or wants to see. They're there to pacify her, meet her needs on some level, give her something that she needs to feed her craving or addiction or need for love or whatever empathy. But the narcissist cannot give you true empathy, which is why there's a disconnect. And that's what happens somewhere down the road. Now, both codependents, both the giver, people pleaser, and the narcissist, both of them together have a deep childhood trauma, which is what enabled them to be on both sides of this opposite end of the magnet. And also both of them are riddled with a deep sense of shame, which they've contracted very early on in their formative years. This shame makes them feel unlovable, unworthy. So the female, if she's the caregiver and codependent, doormat, people pleaser, she feels like she has to give of herself in this relationship to feel wanted, to feel worthy of love and attention. And she feels lucky to have this man in her life because she doesn't believe she's deserving of true love or that she deserves to be wanted really on the deep core level, despite what her outer aspects might tell you and how confident she is and whatever. Deeply, deeply down into her psyche, she's full of shame and wrought with fear of abandonment, anxious attachment, and not believing that she deserves better or she deserves to be honored and cherished and loved and to have her needs met in a healthy way, which is why she has this maladaptive way of meeting his needs so that he doesn't get rid of her from his life, because she is deathly afraid of loneliness, the crushing, bone-aching loneliness that comes from being single is what she fears the most, which is why, as well, like the narcissist is also crushing, bone-deathly afraid of being alone, the narcissist as well will, after the relationship, hop from one partner to the other, because they don't heal. They rather just slap a band-aid and the person is the band-aid. The next person and the next person and the next. They use people as band-aids and supply. They just slap it on like a band-aid to a leaky wound, or, as bubble gum to a leaky boat, and just seek to seal that wound superficially and that leak superficially. But what they're doing is they're not healing it. They're not reconstructing it to become better, healthier, and stronger. It's a maladaptive way for them to get on in life so that they can avoid doing the inner work, which is facing their childhood trauma, which leads them to believe that they're unworthy, unlovable, and afraid to be alone, the fear of abandonment. And instead of that, they would just use people. Both of them actually will want to just use people unless they stop, take a deep dive look in themselves, and seek to heal from that addiction to their partner. Both the codependent female and male, who is, in my example, the narcissist. Of course, these roles can switch because it's not gender specific. This is just because most of my viewership are female and most of their abusers are male. So there we go. So yes, with the codependents, like to admit it or not, this is not about what we like. This is about the truth. Codependent women who are the sacrificial people pleasers are actually addicted to being married, to being in a relationship, addicted to a man. They want company in their life so much, they're not willing to be alone. But at what cost? And this is what I want you to ask yourself. What price are you willing to pay? Is yourself, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your heart, your soul, your mind, is that a price that you're willing to pay to keep a man in your life? Maybe to show people that you have a husband, maybe to show people that you're desirable or that you're wanted or lovable. We need to set better, higher standards for ourselves, people. This is not working. And you're suffering, and I see your suffering. I see it in every client's face. I see it in every person's face that I know is going through this and won't admit it to themselves. So we need to stop this.